All right, some breaking news to get to here from the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles now. I'm Chase Sr. Just ran into some Eagles coaches while I was getting a cappuccino and some coffee at the Westin Hotel here in downtown Indy. And then moments later, the news broken by ESPN's Adam Schefter that Philadelphia is going to cut safety Kevin Byard to save about $13 million on the salary cap with free agency looming here in about a week and a half. Before we dive into all of this, we're going to take a look at some draft targets at the safety position. We're also going to take a look at some Eagles free agent safety targets as well. This is why you subscribe to the program here, because when breaking news happens, we cover it right here on the show. We just surpassed 72,000 subscribers. This is the largest independently run Eagles channel on YouTube. And if you want content every single day, make sure you give us a follow here. So with the Eagles cutting Kevin Byard here, this is a move that we talked about over the last couple of weeks. He was in our cut candidates video. We talked about him elsewhere on some other shows because it's a move that makes a lot of sense for Howie Roseman and this front office. Now, the Eagles did trade away a 5th-round pick and a 6th-round pick, as well as safety Terrell Edmunds to the Tennessee Titans in exchange for Byard, who is a Philadelphia guy, 2-time All-Pro with Tennessee, but clearly his best days are behind him. And it never made sense for the Eagles having to fill some holes on the defensive side of the football to move forward with Byard, who had a cap hit of $14 million this upcoming campaign. And in doing this move, Philadelphia is going to save $13.7 million on the salary cap. And now Philadelphia is in a really interesting position. You save $13.7 here. NFL salary cap a week ago today increased to $255 million. And all of a sudden, Philadelphia, Howie Roseman, with him being such a financial guru and genius and having this cap space, are major moves on the horizon. Philadelphia now has about $40 million in cap space here. And we've been in Indianapolis all throughout the week at the NFL Scouting Combine every day. Different position groups have been meeting with the media. Yesterday, those were the safeties. And some NFL Combine buzz. Eagles have met with a lot of safeties here in Indianapolis. They only actually have 2 safeties on the current roster who are under contract as we look ahead to the 2024 season. It's Reed Blankenship and Sidney Brown. Kevin Byard no longer on this team. They could theoretically bring him back on a restructured deal so that that cap hit is not $14 million, which is just astronomical. Justin Evans is going to be a free agent. He's been injured his entire career and once again was for the Eagles here. So Philadelphia has a couple of different options. You could go the free agency route or you could go the draft route and just remake that safety room a little bit. Like what I saw from Sidney Brown last year, hard hitter, really physical. I think Reed Blankenship has a spot in this league as a starting safety. He was excellent in training camp as well as in the preseason, but then once the regular season came, he was just injured a lot. As for how Byard ranked among all safeties in the NFL this past year, 38 targets, 9th most, completions, 28, 2nd most among all safeties, completion percentage, 73.7%, 90th. He had a career low 3 pass breakups, yards given up, 337, that was 92nd, touchdowns 2, that ranked 59th. Interceptions, he only had 1 for a player who's been known to be a ball hawk in this league. Passer rating allowed, 107. That's not good either, 70th. Of course, it's hard to gauge and it's hard to judge the players on the defensive side of the ball because the defensive side of the ball was a disaster last year for Philadelphia. Howie Roseman even admitted when we talked to him on Tuesday that he didn't do enough in hindsight in putting enough dogs on the defensive side of the rock. And that's, of course, an issue, but now when you free up this money, you have some financial wiggle room to address that position. Overall numbers for Byard, 122 tackles this year, 1 interception, as well as 3 pass breakups. What do you want the Eagles to do with the $13.7 million in savings? I want you to put on your general manager hat, get in the shoes of Howie Roseman, and put together your plan for me down in the comment section right now. Free agent targets at the safety spot, draft targets at the safety position coming up just around the corner. Stay tuned for that. But first, make sure you sign up with the Prize Picks, largest independently run daily fantasy sports app in North America and the #1 DFS app that you'll find worldwide. If you use our link in our promo code, prizepicks.com/CLNS, and you use the code CLNS, you get a $100 deposit match. So you put in $100 using that link in that promo code. You get $100 back. That's $200 to make your selections with. It's, of course, the NFL Combine here in Indy. 40-yard dashes going on throughout the week. One of my favorite events just to see how freaky athletic some of these players are. So let's go to the wide receiver spot. Troy Franklin. Let's go less than a 4.36 40-yard dash. Adonai Mitchell, less than a 4.51 40-yard dash. I really like that number there. And Philadelphia did have a formal meeting with Xavier Worthy, Adonai Mitchell's teammate at Texas, making it to the college football playoff this past year. He is a burner, more than 4.3. Some buzz here. He could go sub 4.3. prizepicks.com/CLNS, $100 deposit match using that link in that promo code. So you take a look ahead. What is the next move for the Eagles here at the safety position? The good news for Philadelphia is there are some intriguing safeties who are set to hit free agency. And we're going to take a look at that list because I like the players in this free agency class who are going to hit the open market here potentially, because Antoine Winfield could get franchise tagged by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's still in his mid-20s. His Pro Football Focus grades were out of this world this past year, thrived under Todd Bowles, who played defensive back at Temple in the NFL, and he's done a really good job of developing defensive backs throughout his head coaching and assistant coaching career. So we'll see what happens on the Winfield front. Probably going to cost you $15+ million on an average annual value basis. Xavier McKinney. I attended the Joe Shane press conference the other day. He's the general manager of the New York Giants. He said the Giants would really like to bring back McKinney. CJ Gardner-Johnson, former Eagle, versatility to his craft, can play in the slot at that safety spot. Detroit Lions didn't play a lot this past year because of injury, but I think Philadelphia could use an injection of swagger and confidence on that side of the ball. You have Cam Curl, who's going to be a cheaper, more affordable option, but a really solid player. And then Geno Stone, Baltimore Ravens, that's an organization that's done a great job of also developing defensive backs and a defensive system under Mike Macdonald that is really taking all levels of football by storm right now. Baltimore Ravens, and then Jesse Minter, the former Michigan defensive coordinator, who's now the new DC with the Chargers, implemented that system as well. Those are the free agent options. Let's take a look at the safety prospects here. And Philadelphia had a formal meeting with Cam Kinchens out of Miami. He has 11 interceptions the last 2 years. Very instinctual player. Tyler Nubin, very good player out of Minnesota. Calen Bullock out of USC, also, I believe, had a formal interview with Philadelphia. Javon Bullard out of Georgia, he's a dog. And then Jaden Hicks out of Washington State, another really, really solid player who just played great football for Wazoo there in the Pac-12, the final season of that conference in the Pacific Northwest. So those are some options just to keep in mind as you project forward in free agency as well as in the draft. And when you have only two safeties under contract on this roster, Reed Blankenship as well as Sidney Brown, Howie Roseman, one way or another, I guarantee you this, is going to invest in that safety spot. Of note, before we hop on out of here, Philadelphia was 31st and 32nd in investing in linebacker and safety. And that philosophy, I think, for Roseman, it's one of my predictions this offseason, is going to change because those positions are of the premium importance, I believe, for this defense to turn a corner here in 2024 under defensive coordinator Vic Fangio. What should it be for the Eagles in the offseason here? F for free agency, D for draft, B for both. If you want the Eagles to sign and draft the safety, let me know. Thanks for rocking with us here on the show, and don't forget to subscribe. Peace.